Guys, Marsinged here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today I wanted to take another look at the LR Broly and his team over here on JP as things are shaping up with all the releases and everything. There's been a lot of discourse in the community, of course, about both the new units from Part 1, their teams, how to build them, all this kind of stuff. And one of the things that I have been seeing quite a lot on the timeline is a lot of people saying that Broly's team is bad. I've seen people saying that obviously once the part 2 reveal was Beast and Gamma 1 and 2, of course both super class units. I've seen a lot of people saying that, like, you know, I've seen tweets that are like, I feel sorry for people that summoned for Broly and stuff like that, and like, you know, global players even saying, oh well, no point summoning for Broly for the anniversary, which I find very strange. So I wanted to do a video just showing off his team and how good it is against the newest stage of the Blue Zone, the Battle Spectacle, which is against UI Goku. Now, the thing I guess, if I had to put my finger on exactly what it is that people don't like about it, is unfortunately we just kind of, at this point, have to accept that villains are just never going to get the same kind of love that heroes get in terms of the overall spectrum of the game. But I think people are still locked in this mindset. Like back in the day, we had the typings, right? Mono-typing teams, Super STR, Extreme AGL, all this kind of stuff. Then, you know, we had the first ever release of the Super and Extreme type leaders. Then we got the 120 meta, which was Super and Extreme. Obviously, the meta before that was actually just AGL, like either or, Super or Extreme. But then the categories meta really came in and kind of changed everything up. And whilst links are of course very important, especially amongst a certain villain selection that, you know, certain characters that have big bad bosses, you want to put them all together. I think people are stuck in not liking Broly's team because of this mindset that if you want to build his team as a full extreme team, then his team can potentially not be as good. But there's no reason why you have to do that, right? Obviously, Gogeta being on this team is ridiculously good. He helps with orb changing for like the Broly trio. He's a unit that's good enough that whilst we're running or setting up our main rotations, you can just get him floated off and then he comes back and he transforms into blue. I like running Rose on Broly's team, even though he only gets the 170 lead, but that's just because he's one of my favourite units in the game. You could obviously replace him with anybody else. But when you look at Broly's leader skill, well, I guess it's not going to show up on here, is it, anyway? But because he has full power as one of his leads, he also has the new Blue Kaioken Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta on his leader skill, who also get the benefit of like the orb changing from units like Gogeta, and if we get the orb changing to trigger from the Broly trio and stuff like that. So Broly's team, I think, is really, really good, and I don't really understand the downplay unless it is literally just people that are disappointed that you can't build a full villain, which I mean you still can make a full villains build, but it's just unfortunate that some of the top tier villains in the game of course don't match up to the top tier superclass units in the game. But I mean the Broly trio just got their easy A and they're cracked. I mean this is a crazy first turn because we got Gogeta on the turn for some extra rainbow orb changing, so we're able to get 10 orbs with them. The int orbs means they buff everyone's defense. We also got a rainbow orb in there, so it's a little bit of attack and defense for everyone, as well as a bunch of ki. And of course, we got at least 7 orbs, so we get a guaranteed dodge. We got 24 ki with them, which means we get a guaranteed additional super attack. I mean, these guys are like a huge staple for Broly's team. I've even seen people commenting, like, you know, if people are trying to defend Broly's team, with screenshots of their builds and stuff like that, people saying things like, oh, the Broly trio like carry the team, which I don't really get, because not only is Broly an insanely good unit, but if someone's trying to say that a team is good, how is it a detriment that the team has a ridiculously good unit on it that makes the team work really well? Surely that is like a positive for the team, right? That they have the Broly trio on here and they work really well, because that performance turn 1 from the Broly trio, the attack stats they did, definitely not the craziest turn that they can do or anything like that, but that's obviously them without big bad bosses because Broly doesn't have it, which, you know, still could be considered a fumble for Broly. But whilst it was wishful thinking, you know, I mentioned it on the podcast and stuff before, they did decide to give the anniversary Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta from the 7th anniversary they gave him Saiyan Raw, which they'd never given to a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta before. So, you know, there was always that tiny, like, little glimmer of hope that they could give Broly big bad bosses because he's an anniversary headliner. But of course they decided not to do that. But in a way, it works well for his team for running units like Gogeta. Because obviously if he had big bad bosses on this rotation, he could link up with the Broly trio, that's fine. But because he has like normal Super Saiyan links, Gogeta works very well as an extra floater on this team. I mean, if he had a similar link set to like Zamasu, even though Gogeta would still be able to put in some good work on that team, he'd be getting very few links active, obviously would not be as effective. So actually these rotations worked out really, really well, because I want to go for the classic strategy, which I think works really well for Broly's team, which is floating off. You get your Broly on turn 1, you float off the next Broly on turn 2, and then that means they're going to be together on turn 5. The first one can transform, then we have the double Broly rotation. Golden Frieza was on turn 2 ready to hold down slot 1. Bit disappointing that the first attack is a super, but there's the dodge. Because as I said before, when talking about Golden Frieza, his passive activates, it literally says his passive activates where he gets the extra attack and defense and guaranteed crit if he receives an attack or dodges. So full dodge build for him. He's on the team to be a defensive unit. And these are the kind of turns where that comes in clutch, because he has to take the first hit or dodge in order to get that big boost in defense. So even though he has his damage reduction, and obviously we wouldn't have got killed or anything like that, but him taking that super in slot 1 from Goku, we absolutely would have taken damage. But instead, we took 0 damage because mine has 30 dodge. So yeah, Goku Black, of course, again, one of the reasons why I do keep like using him on Broly's team is that he is doing pretty well out of these new events by having all of these fights where he fights against a Goku. And I mean, you can see there as well, that's a big chunk of damage for him, which I'm sure the Rosé haters out there will be happy to point out. But we're running a team build where he doesn't have crossover allies, so he has a 50% chance to guard before he transformed. He did not guard. But considering, you know, this is now currently the hardest of the Blue Zone stages, I believe, in terms of at least how hard the boss hits. That was a type disadvantage hit that he took. I mean, yeah, it was 200k, but definitely could have been worse. And then by the time we get him to transform, then he's just got guaranteed guard without the crossover allies. So I admittedly, like, he can absolutely be a risk to run on the team without crossover allies. Certain events can work really well where you have like an int phase while he's in the base Super Saiyan 3 as well. But I mean, yeah, we're just absolutely flying through here. Because it base UI sign next, right? Oh yeah, the animations are still on. I forget, the only ones on the team that have the intros are Broly and Zamasu. But yeah, Zamasu is another unit that could be switched around. Obviously, he has big bad bosses, so he can work very nicely with the Broly trio. Who, again, we can get 8 orbs. So realistically, the best rotation here is to try and have the Broly and the Broly trio and Zamasu together. The only thing that is, of course, the risk is Broly eating a slot 1 super here from UI Goku. He has 445k defense, as well as the he still has guard. So, I mean, we could go for this. The only real difference is that we're giving big bad bosses to the Broly trio. And, of course, post-super, Broly will be fine. It's just a case of hopefully he doesn't get supered in slot 1. And then by the Broly trio getting AGL orbs, that, of course, gives everybody a bunch of extra attack. And the Rainbow Orb did give some extra stats as well. So, no super, which means Broly eats that nicely in slot 1. And then he's able to start coming in 13 mil off the bat. Like, I just don't understand, even if you don't think his team is the best, especially if you really, really wanted, you know, the new hot villains team being the best all-extreme team in the game, something like that. But, like, how can anyone look at Broly's performance and say, oh, people should regret summoning for Broly, like, people should skip him on Global and just summon for Gogeta, like, he's so good. Every time I use this unit, like, he's just so crazy. And now that the hidden potential thing is sorted on the private server, so we don't have the friend unit being weaker than the other one, like, once we get this rotation of the 2 Brolys together, they're going to go crazy. I mean, look at this another additional super here. He's up to 10 million attack stat. His defense is now close to, or if not over, 1 million, and he has guard. So absolute machine. And then here comes the Broly trio. They've got Big Bad Bosses active now on this turn thanks to Zamasu. So 15 million attack stat. We also, of course, did pick up at least 7 orbs. So they are guaranteed to dodge. The only thing that this team is really missing that would be super useful is a scouter. Now that TUR of the free-to-play Frieza has a scouter against, is it a Pure Saiyan or... It's either movie hero or superhero. It's probably movie hero because it's from the movie. I can't remember off the top of my head. But unfortunately, the unit is not very good. Although I do believe he is getting an Easy A. It's only the TUR he has at the moment, right? I can't remember if the Easy A details are even out for him. But this team having a scouter would obviously be super good because you could put Broly, Chilai, and Lemo in front of wherever the super attack is. And of course, then they take no damage guaranteed. But so we'll go ahead and transform Gogeta here. We're still going to float him off. I think Frieza... Will Frieza kill? Frieza does do good damage. I'm hoping he doesn't. I mean, UI has like 3 health bars left. So even though we have type advantage over him, we're probably not going to kill him. It does mean Gogeta's probably not even going to get to attack. But that does actually help us out here with the orbs. We get a full heal from the transformation. We weren't missing a ton of HP, but it still helps. And then we'll do this. He doesn't need a lot of ki because he's not even going to get to attack. And then Frieza, yep, no damage. We got to pick up the 3 orbs with Frieza from the second appearance onwards to make sure he gets that damage reduction. But obviously post-super, he's not going to be taking any damage here whatsoever. And then, yeah, ideally we didn't want him to kill Goku so that Rose can get some extra super attacks in here. Ideally, he doesn't kill him with the first one and then gets an additional, right? So he gets those extra stacks for full power, which appears to be what is going to happen. So, love it when a plan comes together. Super Saiyan 3 Rose, like I say, still one of my favourite units. Let me know down below which of the Heroes units from the end of 2023 is your favourite, and if you are still using them. I know a lot of people are still going to be big fans of running the Limit Breaker Vegito. So can we get 7 orbs here? We can in the slot 1. So if we really wanted this to be almost like a guaranteed W, so we're going to go ahead and transform Broly. So what I could do here now is just put the Broly trio in slot 1, get 7 orbs for them. So there's no chance whatsoever that we get tagged by a slot 1 super. Because remember, Broly, as crazy as he is even defensively, is obviously much more so post-transformation. So even in slot 1, right, like he could eat a super for a pretty significant amount of damage here. Let me see what his defense is. We put him in slot 1. He's obviously got all of his links active except Berserker. He's at 640k and he does have guard. But this UI Goku does hit for like over 2 mil. So the safest play is of course just to do this. And then let these guys absolutely hold down slot 1. The tech orbs mean they give extra defense. So Broly's now at 727k pre-super, which he's going to do quite a few of. I wonder if we could we one-turn UI? I don't know how much health he has, but yeah, even the friend Broly still sat here at 647k, and it's turn 5, so I believe he still has. Is it 5 turns he has guard for, or is it only 4? Well, he appeared on turn 2 anyway, so he has guard still, regardless, right? Even if it was 4 turns. So let's go ahead and grab these. And yeah, let's just see just how much actual like devastation we can do to Ultra Instinct Goku here in 1 turn from Broly's team that is not good, apparently, according to some people on social media, which do not understand it personally, but let's see what we can do here with the boys. So obviously we get the 24 keys, so we get guaranteed additional. I didn't give the Broly trio any dodge outside of like, I always give units 3 dodge, but even if you're not getting 7 orbs, they have a 50% chance to dodge. So even on their worst turn, they have a 50% and then the potential clutch, like 3%. But of course, 7 orbs means they are completely invincible. And then, yeah, Broly time. 25.7 million. And we could have got a little bit extra if we'd picked up AGL or STR orbs with the Broly trio so that they actually had attack support. But, yeah, and of course we have the domain active, so yeah, it's probably going to be all she wrote for the boy UI Goku here. If it's not this Broly, it should be the friend one. But yeah, just look at all this damage. 18.7. Like, he's just so good. I don't see how, especially as a global player, obviously we're yet to see the details for Beast and Gamma 1 and 2. They should come out tomorrow. But yeah, I don't see how you can see the performance of either of these Part 1 units. And for either one of them be like, I don't really care about summoning for them, to be honest. Like, really? I mean, if you're like a huge super mega Beast fan and you're free to play and, you know, by the time the anniversary rolls around, you're not going to have the craziest amount of stones, I can obviously understand, you know, waiting, going all in on the Part 2 banners. Then maybe once we get all those like 77 tickets, because of course, not many people have been talking about them recently, but I did say when they first came out, apparently you can use them on any of the banners. So obviously any leftover stones, the tickets, all that kind of stuff, you could then use those on the Part 1 banners after you've pulled Beast, if that is what you really want to go for. But yeah, I just don't understand how anyone can look at this team and just say, oh yeah, this team's bad. Like watch this video back. It's like the new hardest, well, the new final stage currently of the Blue Zone, and this was literally the first attempt. There was no attempt recorded before this, just one and done. Barely took any damage throughout the entire run, just absolutely dominated UI Goku. Now, some people say, oh, you know, it's the new latest stage, but it's not the hardest one. But, I mean, did you see what these guys did? I mean, we pretty much had perfect starting rotations, which is crazy. I literally did not even have to jump in and out of the event. I literally just booted it up. So we had a Broly in turn 1 and a Broly in turn 2, which is what you want to get the double Broly rotation. And then, yeah, there you go. They absolutely destroyed the event. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Are you excited to summon for Broly when he comes to Global? Do you think his team is good? Are you sort of tied to the whole, you know, it should be an extreme-only team, so it's not good enough? Let me know all your thoughts on Broly and his team down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.